Good afternoon, folks. Snapzilla Gorilla coming at y'all with another short video. And what do you know, man? I found another one. Yes, I did. I found another black conservative trying to pull black people from one side to the other, from one ruler to another, from one set of rulers to another set of rulers, from the left to the right. It's crazy to me. You know, these people, they come out here and they say, we need to be self-sufficient. We need to stop relying on the government for everything, and all this other stuff. Or we need less government. But they get over to the right and they're propping these rulers up. They're not trying to find ways to get the government out of your business. They allowing allowing these suckers to stay in your business. It's crazy. I don't understand it. You say you don't. It's wild. You would think that you would want everyone to have complete independence, particularly if you're going to say that black people are, the left the left white elites are the real racist. You should leave them and come on over to this side where there aren't any white elite racists. I don't understand. And that's what they do. They use the race card. They tell us that we use the race card, or they tell the people on the left, identity politics this, race baiting that, and all this other shit. But you use race to pull a potential voters from one side to the other. You're doing the same thing that the Democrats doing. You're pandering to black people that you feel disenfranchised by the left. And they have been disenfranchised. But they haven't just been disenfranchised by the left. They've also been disenfranchised by the right. Because they're both two sets of rulers. All right? They're both two sets of rulers. And it's not, everybody is being ruled by these people. So you would think that you would say, hey, why don't we break from the system completely and see what happens? I mean, come on. But that's not what we're doing. I want you guys to listen to this, okay? It's this cat, Brandon Tatum. I just found out about him today. Okay, he came up in my recommended. But I actually saw him on some TV show, some morning show a while back, and he was talking some crazy shit about the police. Anyway, let's listen to what he got to say.
Want Trump to win more than the Republicans do. This video is brought to you by The Officer Tatum Store. The Officer Tatum Store. Get the merch link in the description section. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so you get notifications anytime I go live or make a video.
By the way, this dude right here, former cop. All right, he was a cop. So that should keep that in your mind right now. The ultimate statist. He's the ultimate statist. He's a retired tyranny enforcer. So I just want y'all to hear his perspective. Okay.
Subscribe to my channel. Let's get into this. The Democratic debate was another trash can performance. It was garbage. They have nothing to offer the American people. I'm gonna go through methodically and talk about the issues that I have with what the Democratic ticket is producing and why it's problematic to America, and they're never gonna win anything ever again if they don't change. Now, I'm kind of glad they not changing because I want Trump to be the president again. But speaking to the rest of the world who are not Trump.
And that's the thing. Trump came out, right? Trump came out in 2016 and appealed to so many people. He's a celebrity. He has this personality. He's rambunctious and boisterous and all this other shit. Larger than life. You know what I mean? Speaks his mind. And people fall into the cult of personality disorder, like this dude did. This dude Brandon Tatum, just like ABL did, just like the amazing Lucas, Candace Owens. All these people just fell in love with Trump, okay? And they think Trump is some type of messiah, some type of savior that's going to save black people, okay? Let's keep going.
They may need to get some information on this stuff. So I want to know from you, first and foremost, who do you think is the biggest winner and biggest loser? And for those of you who didn't watch it, you can piggyback on my choices. But write in the comment section who you think is the biggest winner and loser if you watch the debate. Let me start with who I think was the biggest winner and loser. The biggest loser of the day was Bernie Sanders. And the reason why I say Bernie Sanders is the biggest loser is because he supported literally communist regimes. He supported people who destroyed their own country, which is the criticism that people have about Bernie Sanders. That he's going to destroy America with unachievable stuff that he's just pitching to people.
Now, what he's talking about, right? Cuba, right? He's talking about how Bernie Sanders, somehow Bernie Sanders big up Fidel Castro's regime because of the literacy program, right? Now, this is the game that the U.S. government plays. If you're a country that does not play ball with the government, they will make up all kind of bad shit about you to make everyone else hate you. No, these cats that talk shit about Fidel Castro don't know shit about him. They haven't been to Cuba. They don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Just like Hugo Chavez, just like Gaddafi, just like Saddam Hussein. Any reason or excuse to keep an opposing country down, just like Iran, they will do it, and they'll make people hate them, even though they don't know jack shit about these people in these countries, okay? Now, I'm not saying whether Fidel Castro is good or bad or dictator or not. All I know is America kept their foot on their neck for decades, had all kind of embargoes, wouldn't let these people make anything, wouldn't let these people produce anything, okay? So yeah, they're gonna flee the country and go to your country. I mean, because Cuba's like 2 hours, a 2-hour boat ride from Cuba. I mean, from Florida, Cuba, yeah. So anyway, keep going.
Plan of salvation, right? He has no plan to carry these things out. He got a $60 trillion budget plan that he has no way of telling how he's going to pay for it. And when he's pressed, he can only give a couple $1 billion. Come on, man. Green New Deal, $90 trillion. No way he can afford it. And then he's putting people up like Fidel Castro. Let me say this real quick. You cannot, I don't care if a person did one good thing. When you're Fidel Castro or you're a dictator that ruined your country and hurt innocent people, like we should just use another example, right? Adolf Hitler was a great orator. He could give speeches like nobody's business, which is how he came to be a powerful person and led all these people to do all the crazy stuff that they did. Now, if somebody would have come, if Trump was to come out and give Hitler some props, people be all over him. That's the same thing when you talk about Fidel Castro, who take his own people out in the desert, and you know what they do to him. You know what they do to him. All right, let me move on to another subject at hand with Bernie Sanders. Pandering with no results. Bernie Sanders literally talk about, I'm gonna do that, when I get into the office, I'm gonna do. You've been there for 40 years. And bro, you only had like 7 bills introduced, sponsored by you, and I think 3 of them got passed, and a few of them was changing the names of post offices. And you gonna be the president of the United States, and you gonna get something done. Somebody shut the front door. You ain't gonna do nothing. You ain't gonna do none of that stuff. You can't even do nothing in the Senate. You definitely ain't gonna do nothing in the presidency if you don't have the House and Senate, which you're not gonna have as the president of the United States if somehow President Trump decides he don't want to run again. Now, let's get to the biggest winner, in my personal opinion.
Here we go.
I think Bloomberg is the biggest winner.
Here he goes.
You know why? It's because he sounds rational, right? There's a few things that he sounds ridiculous on. The stop and frisk, he need to be more firm on that. I don't know why he's so weak on that. Because stop and frisk, even though people deemed it as being unconstitutional, it did have some effective benefits to it. And personally, I don't think it was unconstitutional. I think that the
now see, this was my biggest problem with this cat. Okay, stop and frisk wasn't unconstitutional. He doesn't believe that stop and frisk was unconstitutional. Not a surprise coming from a cop. Okay, of course a cop is not going to believe that stop and frisk was unconstitutional. Okay, and then he said it was effective. It worked. No, the crime was already on a downward trend in New York City before stop and frisk was implemented. All right, and it is unconstitutional because the police did not need any type of suspicion, not articulable. They didn't need any articulable suspicion to stop someone who's minding their own business walking down the street because they wearing some type of clothes or they got a diddy bop or something like that. They look like they might be in a gang. So guess what? Oh, we don't care if you're in a gang or not. See, now, the misconception is they would only stop and frisk people who were already felons that got out of prison, ex-convicts and whatnot. Well, they're ex-convicts. They served their time. They paid their debt to society. That doesn't. So now you get to fuck with them every other time you want. So even that's bad. Even that, you know, they served their time. They did what they did. Boom. They still have, as human beings, they still have their right to privacy. You understand what I'm saying? Not only that, but they didn't just do that to ex-convicts. They did it to anybody they felt they wanted to pull over and fuck with, or stop and frisk and harass and extort. That's what they did. Did they find some cats with weapons? Yeah. If you slam everybody against the wall that you want to, then yeah, you're gonna hit something every now and then. A broken clock is right twice a day. Okay. So what? All right. So now you got this cat. Now, see, I spoke to ABL yesterday. I had a conversation with ABL Live on his ABL Live yesterday. And he kind of walked back his statements on stop and frisk. Because I'm sure he looked further into it and saw that it was some double dog bullshit. Because when I called him out for that episode, for that video he did saying that he is a full proponent of stop and frisk, he damn sure didn't say the same thing he said this last night. Last time he was a full supporter of it. He thought it was a great thing, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure he looked further into it because I'm pretty sure people got in his ass about it, okay? Even John Hannity said that stop and frisk was racist. In that, no, black people don't commit, not the only people committing crime. Everybody commits crimes. But black people are more likely to be harassed or stopped or accosted for suspicion. That's the only thing. If everybody's committing the same amount of crime and you only fuck with the black people and don't fuck with the white people as much, then yeah, it's going to be perceived that black people commit most of the crime because you keep fucking with black people. You understand what I'm saying? So even John Hannity, even these people on the right, Tucker Carlson, all these cats on the right said that stop and frisk was racist. Everybody saying it. Everybody know it. You can't deny it. Here this cat comes saying that it's not unconstitutional. Like I told ABL last night, forget about race. Just because somebody looks a certain way, you don't like the cut of their jib, or you don't like the way they looking, or the way they mobbing down the street, or they might be upset, they might have a puss on their face, or they don't smile at your little pig ass. You want to fuck with them? This dude thinks that's not unconstitutional. See what I'm saying? Cats like him, and this is why I say, look, one of you guys asked me, because I did the video when I shared the video when I did ABL, when I talked to ABL, and one of you guys said, "You still talking to ABL, huh?" And yeah, because I'm gonna stay on their head. See, this cat right here, Brandon Tatum, has I think over 400,000 subscribers. Okay. ABL has over 300,000 subscribers. The Amazing Lucas has over 400,000 subscribers or something like that. All these people have a huge following, and they are successfully pulling people from the left to the right, black, white, and otherwise. And this is why I have to stay on their head. Yes, I'm too. Brandon Tatum might not even ever know who I am. You know, I have no illusion that he's going to see my video right away and feel. I know it's not, but I do know some people. It's going to reach some people. You know what I'm saying? Even though YouTube is oppressing my channel like a big dog, I know some people are going to see it, and I want to help you guys understand. If you like Brandon Tatum, just look at what he's about. Is he really about freedom? First of all, he's a cop, meaning that he is the ultimate form of a statist. Okay, he's a statist. He's not really about freedom. Okay, especially if he believes in stop and frisk. If anybody who believes in stop and frisk, they are not about freedom. They can't be, because that is the ultimate antithesis to freedom. Stop and frisk is the antithesis to freedom. And believe it or not, we had the same type of shit in LA. Except they didn't call it stop and frisk, they call it a gang injunction. So if you had a red, if you wore red, or if you had a tattoo, it's the same shit. They can fuck with you. And you don't even have to be in a gang. They'll put you on a card, on a gang card, and all the other stuff. Now, now you're a domestic terrorist. You're considered a domestic terrorist when you're in a gang. So the gang injunction was even worse than stop and frisk to some degree, because they can just label you a gang member because you're in a certain gang neighborhood and you didn't commit a crime. You didn't do anything. You didn't harm anybody. They didn't catch you banging on anybody. But because you're wearing a rag, or because you're wearing your hair a certain way, or because you're wearing your clothes a certain way, and might have a tattoo or two, you are now labeled a domestic terrorist, even though you did nothing to receive that label. And it's the same thing. They can stop you. They can frisk. They can do all that shit. They called it a gang injunction. Okay, that was declared illegal. That was declared unconstitutional. So they had to stop it. But yeah, it's unconstitutional. Point blank and period. Shit. Now this is really the reason I wanted to make the video, because that shit just, the mentality of these people, man, I just don't get it. Anything to justify, I don't know. Let's keep going.
They get police officers fired and all this stuff. They push an agenda to prove a point that don't.
Oh, they get police officers fired. Oh, poor baby. Fuck out of here. Oh well, get another job, nigga.
Same people that say the criminal justice system is inherently racist, but they can't show you a racist judge. Not any.
I can. I did a video presentation on one of those racist judges. Remember? I don't know if y'all don't remember. Y'all can go back and back in time on my channel. I did a presentation on black crime statistics, okay? And I highlighted a judge that was selling black folks up the river to private prisons, and he got locked up for it. Okay? So yeah, I can show you. I have the proof. Go look at my video. Yes. Holla at your boy. Not only that, but over 70% of the exonerees in this country are African American. Over 70-something%. That's also in my presentation. I got it's there. You understand what I'm saying? So, yeah, pimpin', I can show you a judge that's racist. Go look at my video. Nonsense ass motherfucker.
They can't prove it that any of these judges are racist. Yeah. But they say it anyway because it makes them feel good at night.
Make them feel good at night.
Anyway, Bloomberg gets at it. He sounds reasonable. He talks about the fact that we're not going to leave capitalism. Stop talking about socialism. You know what I'm saying? He talks about a few other things that he's like, that's not going to happen. We're not going to take all the troops from overseas. Just because it sounds good to people, that's not logical. It's not going to happen. It's not even an easy process to do. All of these things that... Now
I will say this. Socialism ain't shit. I believe in a little bit of capitalism. I believe in free market trade and all the other stuff. Now, as far as getting the troops out, I mean, that's not going to be so easy, but it can be done. You just have the motherfuckers come home. But, I mean, there are things that you're going to... See, we go to a country... We go to a foreign land, we get it all dusted up, we fuck it up, and then it doesn't matter when we leave. It's going to be screwed up. We just completely destabilize the region. All right? These people, some of these groups have been warned for centuries, and it's just part of their culture or whatever. You know what I mean? So we just go over there and just desiccate both sides, right? You know what I mean? Just let's accelerate the death toll. Let's accelerate let's hurry up and just destroy everybody. Let's destroy both sides so that we can control the oil fields. Pretend like we're on one side over the other. Leave the people in disarray, and let's just stay there. We'll keep about 20,000-30,000 troops over there, and just to loom over these people for the rest of their fucking life, for the rest of their fucking history of their country. Yeah, let's do that. All right.
Lil Bloomberg said, I call him Lil Bloomberg.
Oh,
all these things
clever.
that Lil Bloomberg said Sound good. I mean, they sound reasonable. He sounds like he's a thinking man. He's not far left extremist. And what he's running on being like Trump but better. That's what people, if they want to be Trump, they have to be.
Yeah, this clown. Let me ask you something, Brandon Tatum. Are you a Trump supporter or a Bloomberg supporter? And are you a Bloomberg? Do you think Bloomberg is better? He's not saying that he thinks he's better, but he's saying that Bloomberg has to run on being like Trump but better. Do you think that Bloomberg is better because of stop and frisk, my friend? Would you jump completely on board if he actually said, you know what, I'm not sorry about stop and frisk. I'll do a federal stop and frisk. Excuse me. Would that bring you fully on board with Bloomberg, and would you abandon Trump for that reason? Inquiring minds want to know.
They have to say, I have the same economic success plan, but I want to do better. I have the same thrive and energy behind helping African Americans like Trump do, but I'm gonna do it in a more effective way. I'm gonna do it in a more efficient way. I'm gonna do it without the chaos, drama, and confusion. That's the only way that you're gonna even be competitive against Trump. So let me just give an example of what I think a winning ticket for the Democrats would be, because they're gonna take an L. I don't care if they had I don't want to say Jesus, because Jesus will win it all. Jesus wouldn't even be a Democrat, mind you. But if I was going to use somebody, Apostle Paul, if they had Apostle Paul on there, they still would lose to Donald Trump, even if he was the nominee. Now, the winning ticket for them.
You see what he's doing? He's not going to help as much black folks as. I want to help just as he. Does he really believe that Bloomberg wants to help black people? I know he does not believe that. I know he don't believe that. And does he really believe that Trump is just like this bastion of light and salvation for black folks? Talk about identity politics. Y'all spouting all this nonsense about the left with their identity politics, which they do a lot of, but you guys do the same thing. You on the right, you people on the right do the same thing. You guys both, the bottom line is this: left or right, Democrat, Republican, conservative, liberal, independent, blah, 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 Green Party, all these people, they want someone to rule over you. They want to initiate unjust laws like stop and frisk on the people. They would love to have a federal stop and frisk, and it wouldn't just stop with black people. You understand what I'm saying? It would go to anybody that the cops want to fuck with. Stop and frisk would eliminate every right that you have, because they don't need any justification. They don't need to have just a probable cause and none of that shit. They just do what they do. You look funny. Come here, pimpin'. Let me see your papers. It's like the Gestapo over here. And this is what these people want. At the end of the day, that's what they want. All right, let's keep going. Not too much going now. Hold on. I think I'm done with this cat. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same shit.
Joe Biden. That will be the winning ticket. They need to go moderate. They need to have money. They need to show capitalism is reasonable.
See the gang? They need to go moderate. They need to do this. They need to shift to this side. None of it matters. They already know who's going to be the president for 2020. They already know. It's already known. Come on. It's already known who's going to be the president 2020. Let's cut the BS. Cats like Brandon Tatum, dangerous, not just to black people, because a lot of white folks love him too. A lot of white folks love him too. A lot of Hispanics whose parents came here legally and they went through the legal process to get into this country. They love this guy. They love cats like ABL. They love Candace Owens. They love this, that. They love the Amazing Lucas. They love these people. They're freaking dangerous. Okay? So, this is why I'm going to stay on their head. I'm going to stay on their head. Every time some fool shit come out of their mouth like this, like, stop and frisk was good. It did some good stuff. It had some good effects. You don't know. You full of crap. No, it did not. Oh, yeah, they might have caught people with guns, but they also harassed and even murdered some people that had nothing to do with any crime. Anyway, that's all I got for now. Brandon Tatum, watch out for this guy. Just started watching the videos. I'm actually subscribed to him because I like to see what they're talking about. All right, I like to see the shit they putting out there. so I can kind of counter whatever nonsense they spewing. All right. Anyway, holla at y'all later. Got to get to it. Peace.